Hello ladies, welcome back to my YouTube channel with me, Morgan Tracy J. And today's video is all about how to make Christian friends, okay? This is actually a question I've been getting quite a bit, and I want to share my answer with you and give you 5 ways on how to make Christian friends, even if you feel like you don't need no friends or you're comfortable with being alone. I'm sure this video is going to bless you. All I want to tell you to do is make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube family. Also, you check me out over on Instagram because I always share a lot of behind the scenes content there. And you share this with one of your friends that you know that needs it, okay? Let's get into this video. So let me tell you this. The first thing is right now we are in the digital age of technology. So there is a lot of stuff we're doing online. And since it doesn't require us to get out of our house, sometimes we're working from home, we're going to church online. And since we're not really making those friendly connections that we need, and there's a lot of us that are in isolation sometimes. And one thing I learned about isolation is it's okay for a season, but when you notice that you've been in isolation over and over and over again, many times it becomes self-inflicted, and it's actually a way to protect yourself. So today, I'm going to be talking to you about 5 ways how you can make Christian friends. So if you're ready, let's get into tip number 1. First thing, girl, if you want some Christian friends, you first got to be a friend to yourself. Do you know what you like? Do you talk kindly to yourself? Are you understanding with yourself? The reason I'm saying this is because it's so easy for us to always look outward like, oh, we need friends, but sometimes we're not even a friend to ourselves. And one thing about it is if you can't stand to be around you, then of course, if you haven't healed and got through some things, other people are going to feel that same way. You have to like you first. You have to be a friend to you first. That is a requirement. You have to be nicer to yourself. You have to know how to talk to yourself. You have to learn you, okay? So first, before you can just go out here and try to be a great friend to somebody else, you first have to be a friend to yourself. And also, we have no other friend. There's no other friend like Jesus. Okay, let's be real. And so as you begin to commune with Jesus, you begin to get softer and more gracious towards yourself. And I always say this, I know someone who truly has walked with the Lord and has been with the Lord because they have so much grace for themselves. They have so much grace for their failures, so much grace for, the things that they've fallen short in because they've experienced the grace of God over and over again. And so I want to tell you that, sis. You got to first be a friend to yourself. And that usually starts with a lot of grace, a lot of understanding, a lot of healing, and a lot of knowing what you like and what you ain't going to put up with. Okay. So first, be a friend to yourself. Second tip, girl, if you are looking for Christian women, Christian friends, then you need to go to Christian events. If this is your church, if this is a church in person, if this is a Bible study, if this is online events, even Christian conferences, events and all that in your area, that can be very helpful with finding friends. One thing I know about it is when I used to live in the city of Tulsa, I used to go online and go on like Groupon or go on Eventbrite, and I would look for things to do in my city. And that actually helped me make really great connections. Sometimes instead of just working in the house, I decided to work in a coffee shop. So there were little things I try to do to get out, but I want to tell you, if you're not looking and going to these Christian events, sometimes you just got to get out of your house. Sometimes if you're reading a book in the coffee shop and somebody's like, oh, wow, I know that pastor. And then you're like, oh, really? And then bam, you spark up a conversation and you don't even know it, girl. You might have just met your new best friend. Okay. So what I'm telling you is you got to get out of your house, but also you got to look up Christian events and you got to just quit trying to do online church, but go to physical church. Okay. This is how you're going to make really great impact. This is how you're going to make really great connections. And many churches, sometimes they'll have like a ladies' night, a girls' night. They'll have little events at their churches. Go to those events. Even if you're getting off work and you're tired and you're like, I just don't want to go to those events. Because I will say you learn a lot, but you also make really great connection just outside of the regular church schedule. Think about it. When you're walking into church, you're usually mingling a little bit, but then bam, you're in your seat. And next thing you know, you're in service and then service is over and you're headed out the door. Linger a little bit more. So if you can't linger at church because of the busyness of your day, then I want to encourage you to go to these events because this is going to break the ice for you. And I used to go to what was it called? I used to go to Victory in Tulsa, and every quarter or something, they would have like these women event nights, and it was so fun. And I actually would meet women there. I would connect. We would take pictures. It was so different than just our normal church service setting because this was all about women. It was so much to do and so much people to connect with. And so I want to tell you that. Go to church events in your city, around your area, look them up. Get added to a Facebook page where they talk about church events in your city or notifications about what's going on in your city, your town. This will help you so much to make the most of your area. The next thing I would tell you is to connect with people around you or online. You can find a few people in your phone that you probably could really just reconnect with, that you could really make a friendship out of, okay? But also online, you've got to use caution, okay? So I got to give this one. This was years ago. I was on Instagram and I came across this girl's page. It was like Chat It Up, and she was into women empowerment and she was hosting events, and it was very similar to what I was doing. And I remember I followed her. We kind of got connected. And one day we met for brunch. And I will tell you, that girl, Brittany, now, she is my girl. She has been there in some of my hardest days and hardest seasons. Amen. She has truly turned into a friend. She is helping me put together our Tulsa event. She is that girl, okay? She is a rider. And I would have never known that, but it's because I connected with her via Instagram and I hit her up about, let's meet up for brunch. Let's meet up somewhere, And I will tell you that. Don't be afraid if you connect with somebody online, like a girl online. Don't be afraid to say, let's meet up at a coffee shop. Let's meet up at a central location and get to know each other a little more. Don't be afraid to do that. And so I think that friendship with me and Brittany so far has been one of the best friendships I've had in a long time, but it's also showed me that you got to just step out of your normal comfort zone a little bit. Don't limit yourself to say I can only meet them at church or at a Bible study. You may connect with a girl online and she is a Christian follower and you're like, let's meet for coffee and let's talk about whatever. And then bam, y'all meet for coffee and you just met a new friend, okay? So don't limit yourself. Don't be afraid to meet people in person around you that you maybe need to reconnect with, and then also online. So here's the next tip if you want to make Christian friends. And I would say mend relationships with past friends or family members, okay? Sometimes what happens is we look up and we don't have many friends because we've been hurt by people in the past and we've never really just mended things to where we can go on and not have our walls up with our next group of friends, right? So you got to be willing to mend relationships with either family members or people in your past, okay? I had to do this on the journey, and many times we have really great people around us or people we once were friends with, but maybe things happened, maybe life changed. And all it has to do is be a message. All it has to do is be a rekindling, and God can do that for you. There was a friend in college that I was really close to, and then we kind of went our separate ways. And before we knew it, we were living in the same city, and we rekindled so much. And she really became a good friend for me in a season, and I got to be there for her in one of her toughest seasons as well. And God really just aligned it so perfectly. But it was a friendship that got rekindled. And so I want to encourage you not to just count out everyone that's done you wrong or everybody that's, I don't want to deal with that family member or this particular old friend, but just mend those. I'm not telling you to go be their friend today. I'm just telling you to mend those relationships, because sometimes those can hold us back from starting the new relationships that we really want to start. And if you're saying, well, Morgan, I don't really have anyone that I need to mend relationships with, I got to ask you this question. You need to ask yourself, is there anybody that I need to apologize to for not being a good friend? Is there anyone that comes to mind that I need to apologize to for not being a good friend? All right. And then if you can throw a name in there, then that's probably the person you need to mend things with. So even if you don't rekindle to be best friends again or whatever, but just so you can go forward into your new friendships without that hurt and without that guard up. Okay. The last tip is you got to be willing to be a friend first. Okay. What this means is that a lot of times we have came across people that were pretty great, would have been some great friends, but we were not willing to be the friend first. We were kind of waiting maybe on them to be the friend, or maybe we had a friend connection, but we kind of fell off and we wasn't even there for them. Maybe we never answered their call. Maybe when they texted, we never responded. And so when that friendship ended, to us, it was like, wow, but if we look at it, we was not a friend ourselves. And this is what I have to say. How you be a friend first is, can they call you and chat with you? Can they call you and talk to you about their problems? Can they call you? Can you call them? But you got to first think about, can they call you and tell you their problems? Can they call you and cry to you? And you might say, yeah, they can, but have they ever? Okay? Because you got to be willing to be the friend first sometimes. And you might be like, well, I need somebody to be that for me. And they may become that for you, but you've got to first open that door for them. Can you lend a helping hand? If their tire went on flat at 12 in the morning and they gave you a call, Would you be willing to answer that and go help them? Even though I know it would be inconvenient, but would you be willing? Are you that friend? Like, you got to first be willing to be a friend first and not just say, oh, I'm not going to do nothing. Because what happens is we have people all around us. We just have not cultivated those relationships. We haven't just shot the text and said, hey, how are you doing? Hey, how's life? Let's do a call this week. I want to check on you. Hey, I got so much to tell you about. Hope you got time this week. We haven't cultivated these relationships. And so then we look up and wonder why we don't have friends, but it's that you didn't cultivate the relationships to build a friendship. So and you might be like, well, Morgan, how do we cultivate friendships? I have some people in my life. How do I cultivate that? You send them text message, you check on them. If you're going for a walk in the evening, you invite them out. Even if they say no, invite them. If you're going to go to a movie one day, invite them. If you're going to go get coffee, invite them. I'm saying this because actually recently this happened with me and my sister. I was actually going to go watch a movie, and I had told her that day, I was like, I'm going to take myself on a movie date this evening. And she was like, oh, really? I would like to go on a movie. Oh, I wouldn't mind to go. And it honestly didn't cross my mind to invite anybody because I just can do a lot of stuff by myself. But that evening, before I left, I texted her and said, hey, do you want to go to the movies together? Like, my treat. And she met me at the movies, and it was a really great time. But what it showed me is that I have to cultivate these relationships. Although she's my sister, I still have to cultivate these. I still have to put the work in to make sure that we are connected, that we are being friends as well. So I just want to tell you that if you're going to do something, think about that friend that you can invite, even if they can't make it, even if they say no. But you never know how that one coffee date, how that one walk around the park, how that one little workout together can really cultivate and ignite a friendship. You really never know. And one thing I will say this is I believe that God gives us friends to reveal more of what's inside of us, but also reveal more of himself as well. Because one thing about friendships, they will test you, they will try you, they will be so challenging sometimes. And that shows you where you need to work on. If you need to work on your patience, if you need to work on your mouth, if you need to work on being so critical and judgmental, whatever that is. Friendships are really to be a magnifying glass to show you where you're at. And so that's what I want to tell you. God brings us friends because he wants us to become more edified and be stronger. And we need that connection. So if you are somebody that is looking for community, you're looking for friendship, then my biggest encouragement to you, I have a membership where we have a community of women that love the Lord, that we're all trying to work towards our purpose, girl, okay? And we also do accountability hour once a month via Zoom, where we all get in there and we all work on the thing that we need to work on, and we kind of hold each other accountable to what the task is. I want to encourage you, if you need a community, check us out. The link is in the description box, okay? But don't go through this life alone. It is so difficult and it's so hard when you are going through things alone and you have no one to share that burden with, no one to help you carry those weights, no one to give you another perspective. You need friendship. We all do. And so I want to tell you this again. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, girl, to build these new relationships. And I know somebody might have hurt you in the past. One friend did you dirty. One friend did it. It's time to mend that friendship, mend those things, heal those things, and move forward so God can bring the new friendships and the new community in your life. All right. Thank you, ladies, for watching. I hope this video blessed you. 5 ways on how you can get friends, okay? And also, too, if you want to just join a community that's going to uplift you, empower you, send you encouragement, have master classes to pour into you, and help you through even hard seasons, go ahead and click the link in the description box right now. We have a special deal going on inside of my membership that I know you would love, okay? I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Go get them friends, girl. Go get them friends. Bye.